Well, tonight I'm gonna make my infamous and somewhat notorious version of the Philly steak and cheese sandwich. Now, the Philly steak and cheese sandwich, I know by some pure-hearted people, have to be a certain way, and I agree with that. And I like the flavor that it starts with, but I do a couple other things to it, but that'll become obvious as we go. First thing, I gotta get the meat going, so gonna use some butter. Turn this up to a fairly warm heat. And for the basis, I use the notorious, or somewhat not so notorious, Philly Gourmet 100% beef sliced steaks. Not steakums, Philly sliced steaks. These things, of course, are these little thin frozen things. But yeah, a couple of things that everyone will recognize in the beginning, I'm sure. Woo-hoo. Let me cut this off. Boy, let me tell you something. These things are no fun to get apart. But the end result is, of course, this one we're going to have to wait for it to thaw a little bit. The end result is we get all our dried steaks separated, and really, you don't have to see this. So we'll come back when I get the steaks put in. And we got the steakums put into the frying pan. But see, from earlier this morning, we have something around here, which is leftover bacon. And as you well know, there is no such thing as leftover bacon. So bearing that in mind, we're going to take 4 strips of leftover bacon from this morning, and we're going to dice it up real good, and we're going to put it in with the steak. Add a little hickory smoked flavor to the mix. So let me just run this real quick through here. And it's looking good. And of course, there's a little bit of bacon grease on here, which that ain't gonna hurt nothing. Okay. Because this meat's gonna all end up shredded anyway with everything else that's going in there. So, now the second little enhancement to the flavor is a cheap Southern Groceries brand or whatever roast beef. And it's a real thin slice, like paper. You have to use 10 or 12 pieces of it just to make a sandwich with. However, very full of flavor. So, I'm going to take about 4 slices of that, maybe 5, I don't know, I didn't count them. And we'll cut them up and add them to the mix as well. So, let me cut these up. And get these ready to scatter amongst them. And we'll add this to the mix. Let's see here. That's pretty good. We'll add that in for a little bit, add a little flavor to it. Now, you noticed I put half stick of margarine, no, it wasn't margarine, half stick of butter into the pan in order to cook beef in, because, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to cook beef, that's the best way to do it. So I'm gonna put a little bit of garlic powder on the top here because I like a little extra garlicky flavor. And then we're gonna put my Everglades seasoning. And then, let's see here, Jack Daniel's number 7 steak seasoning. Good stuff. Brand new too. Okay, so, and this is, I mean, this is my favorite steak seasoning so far that I've tried. And I've tried a lot of different ones, but this one's pretty good. Yeah, man. Put that in there. That's some good stuff. All right, now, the other thing we got to add to it, I don't know if you can hear me because my trash can's a quarter acre away from the stove. Want to put some onions in. I've already pre-diced these onions up. So we'll just add those right in. And then we've got some green pepper. And of course I took the liberty of doing that as well. And I'm going to use a can of mushrooms that I had hanging around. Just because I like mushrooms in the steak. I prefer them sliced. Of course, you can have them any way you like them. But I found for sandwich building purposes and everything that the sliced ones are the best. Or they tend to work out the best. Now we just dump in that can of mushrooms. And now we're all set. That's what we're making right there. The only thing missing is the cheese, and we don't put that in until the very end. So I'm gonna wash up some stuff here and let me get right back to you.
That's starting to look good.
Okay, we're back again here, and I'm gonna just turn this stuff over a little bit. Get it where it's kind of evenly cooking. I mean, the big thing now is to get the vegetables done. But now what we're going to do is we're going to add the initial body of the cheese that we're putting in here, which is going to be shredded sharp cheddar. But that's going to kind of work as the glue and a seal to seal in the heat on the bottom here. So we're going to be pretty liberal with our cheese. Of course, I'm not eating all of this tonight. This is going to make one sandwich for me, and then the rest is going to be left over for sandwiches for the next couple of days, because my bread, the smallest I can buy, the hoagie rolls, is in a 4 lot. And I mean, everything is designed for 4 at the cheapest possible entry. So there's always going to be leftovers. If you're one person like me, you know, that's sitting here cooking for yourself, and, you know, occasionally a raccoon or something will come by and you can have a dinner mate. But yeah, see, when I go by the bakery, all we can get is a 4 count of hoagie rolls, which is okay because, you know, 4 count's a good amount. But the problem is that I have to eat these 4 rolls. If I left them out, they'd be molded tomorrow. So I have to keep them in the fridge and then bring them out, and I might get a week out of them, and I might, you know, if I can get a week out of them, that'll be good, because that'll make, you know, 3 or 4 sandwiches for me this week. And I won't have to do anything but heat it up in the oven when I toast the bread. So that's kind of where I'm at on that matter. Let me cut my roll. Now, I like to cut them like Subway used to cut them, which is you go in at an angle all the way around and pull the center part out like this, and you lay it down. That gives you a big, nice, hollowed out area in the bread to pile on all the meat and stuff. And the cheese and everything else that's all melted in. So, let me explain what we're going to do here. We're going to take the bread. In a few minutes, once this cheese melts, I'm going to be able to scoop this and stack it on the bread. And then I'm going to leave it open and put it in the oven till the bread toasts. Take a few minutes. I've got the oven already heated up to 350 degrees. So now it's just a matter of waiting for all this stuff to melt. And then I want to make sure, gotta get a different spatula. I need my drainable spatula with holes in it, so I can drain this stuff off. But I want to take and kind of mix it all up. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's starting to look good. All right, now I think I'm at the point now where I can load the buns. So, take us a little slop amount here. That's looking pretty good there. I'm going to turn that off. One thing I need to do here is get some of the droppings and put them back on top. So good. All right, we're going to put it in the oven as we speak. And essentially we're just putting it in to toast it. When I return, you shall see the finished product. And this is what it looks like fresh out of the tub. So, nothing left now but to do the final assembly. Which will require a paper plate, now what we have to do is, I like to cut mine in half, so we're going to briefly make it 2 halves. fork. I really need a bigger bread knife. This little bread knife is kind of cute and all, but I need a big full loaf thing. Let me get my fork. And move to the table. So now the final touches are here, and I have my horseradish sauce. Which, if you like horsey sauce, Kraft. It's exactly the same flavor as horsey sauce. And I would not be surprised if Kraft did not supply it. It's just not called Kraft. I just about have this ready to take a bite. And here we go. The taste test. Oh my God. It's perfect. So the whole thing took me about 20 minutes. I had the stuff cut up, so it took a little less time than it would. But total 20 minutes. Beautiful meal. And I made enough for like 4 or 6. So I used a whole pack of steaks, which they say is 8 steaks, but it's like, I don't know. It's not a lot. Well, let me let you all go because this is good.